Hi guys, Darth Deuces here, back with another Star Wars figure review. And I don't usually do 6 scale reviews too much. Plenty of other people do better jobs of that and all that. But I gotta do videos of the figures that I'm really stoked for, and this is one I'm really happy about. Obviously, as you can see in front of you, I got the box here. It is the Hot Toys 1/6 scale Star Wars Darth Revan from Legends. Absolutely insane. I think that Hot Toys made this figure. This is a character, honestly, I never thought we would get in official Hot Toys 6 scale figure form, but we have. He's released, and this year we actually have a bunch of stuff coming that's being released or is going to be released later this year that I didn't expect would ever get made figures. Like we got the Darth Malgus coming later this year, early next year, which I have on pre-order. That's going to be insane. The crazy battle damage Darth Vader, and the figure I'm going to review next, which is the Lord Starkiller, another figure I didn't think they'd ever make that I'm super, super happy about. But we're going to talk about Revan here. So quick look at the box. I did get the special edition for this version, which I'll get into. There's not a whole lot different about the special edition, but pretty cool image of Revan there on the front as well as on the little band. I like the purple too, that's cool. Part of the video game masterpiece line. Another image of Revan there at the bottom, just legalese and stuff like that on the back. And then the Revan band there. And then very quickly, if I open up the box, just to show you the inside art insert thing that covers the plastic of the figure. You have some more toy photography that I think looks pretty cool. But obviously we're not here to look at the box, so I'm going to get the accessories and all that spread out and show you what the figure comes with. So this is pretty much everything that the figure comes with, minus the USB sabers. I did leave those in the box because I never use them. I'll talk about them briefly, but other than that, this is everything you get with the figure. And as you can tell, it's not actually a huge spread of stuff. Not that I expect a ton of stuff to come with this figure, but I'll get into some of that in a second. I guess first off, what makes this a special edition is the coin that you get. So I could be wrong, but if you just got the normal special edition from like Sideshow, you got a gold coin, and then specifically maybe from like Secret Base, if you pre-ordered, you actually get this red coin. And I actually got mine, ordered this off of Toys Buying Agent, so maybe they just got their stock of special editions from Secret Base, and they had the red coins. I wasn't expecting to get the red coin when I ordered this, but I did, so that is super cool. It's nice. I mean, I don't think... it's the only thing that's different with the special edition. There's nothing else, like accessories or look or anything for the figure. It's just the coin. So, like, if you were to try to look for this eventually in the aftermarket or whatever, I wouldn't really pay extra for the coin unless you absolutely have to have it, I guess. It's cool, but it's like novelty. Like, what are you really going to do with it? Like, I might display it, try to like perch it on the front of the stand and like display it like that. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's a cool little thing. But ultimately nothing that crazy. If you did pre-order, it didn't cost anything extra to when you pre-ordered. If you pre-ordered the special edition when this first went up, it was the same price as the regular. So if you decided you wanted it, you could get it for no extra cost. So that's cool. You do get, stand, pretty basic, standard Hot Toys Star Wars display base. It's just the rectangular base, the space grading floor, I guess. It does have this little, like, I don't know, like rusted sort of effect on it, I suppose. You do have the Darth Revan Legends nameplate on the front, which is super cool. I can't tell if it has the thing on the front of it or not. It might have the film on the front of it. It actually looks like the thing might not have been fully glued properly. Oh, yeah, it does actually have the plastic thing on it still. Sometimes it's hard to tell when these plastic things are on this or not. Let's take it off real quick. There we go. So there we go. There's the nameplate. It does look like mine got slightly stuck on, not quite straight, but that's okay. And it just has normal crotch cradle. This is fine. I would have liked to maybe have seen something a little more unique looking for a character such as Revan, but at the end of the day, it's fine. I don't really put a whole lot of value on the stands. It's not the most important part of the figure. It does come with 3 pairs of hands, totaling 6 hands. You do get standard open, relaxed hands that are on the figure when you open it up. All of these are sculpted and painted really nicely. You get a pair of gripping hands for his lightsabers, of course. And you get a pair of splayed out like force hands or like dynamic gesturing hands, which are nice. Though I will say, kind of light on hands. Would have liked to see at least a pair of fists. And I just feel like in general, Hot Toys lately, the past few years, has been pretty stingy when it comes to hands. I feel like a lot of figures, they just don't come with a ton of hand options anymore. But this is sufficient at the very least, although I would have liked to see like some, like I said, a pair of pistons or something. You do get 2 lightsaber hilts, which look really nice. They're sculpted and painted very well, as you would expect. They do not store on the figure, however. There's nowhere to, store them on his belt or anything like that. Not officially, anyways. These are nice. Of course, you do get blades for these. You do get a normal red blade, which looks good enough. And you slot in here. The red blade is technically supposed to go with this hilt, but they fit in either or, so you can do whatever you want. But that looks nice. And then you also get a purple blade, which is cool. You don't usually get too many characters that are purple lightsaber wielders. I feel like the only one the Hot Toys has done before this is Mace Windu, but I could be wrong. That looks nice as well, though. And then you do get a red and purple lightsaber in motion effect, the classic Hot Toys in motion lightsaber effects. These are cool, but I do find they're difficult to get poses where they actually look good because of the way that they're sculpted. When you put them into the saber, the blade should still be going straight and then have a path following it behind it. Instead, it's like tilted forward a bit, so it looks more like a fan, so it looks like they're shaking the saber instead of just swinging it in one direction. Again, like I said, you can make these work, and when you do, they do look cool, but I just find it's really difficult to get poses that actually look good with these, but I do like that they include these. But that is pretty much everything that the figure comes with, so I'm going to get the figure out now. We'll take a closer look. So now taking a look at the figure, and I am just super stoked that this guy exists in Hot Toys 6 scale. Like I said, it's a crazy figure, that character that I didn't think they'd make, and they did, which I think is super awesome. However, I can't say it's perfect. There are some things that I wish were a little different. Nothing major that, is a deal breaker. Obviously, I bought the figure, and I'm super happy to have it. It's easily one of my favorite Hot Toys figures just because of the character, to be fair. But still. Anyways, taking a closer look, one of the things right off the bat I'm not the biggest fan of is actually the hood. It's kind of weird how they did it. It does have a wire. Actually, yeah, it does have a wire in the front, although it's pretty weak. It's not as strong as some other wires, but they did some weird thing. One, the hood, it just made it like this really baggy sort of like material. It's like 2 layers and it's like just baggy, which I feel is a little odd. And then they stitched it, there's a stitch line right in the middle, which kind of results in it wanting to like look like a triangle shape in the front. And I just find this hood is pretty difficult to get into a look that actually looks good. If you futz with it for a while, you can make it look all right. Like I got it here, I think that looks all right. But I feel like you have to futz with the hood a lot more than I have to do with other figures. Like I have the Balin skull from late last year, and also the Darth Sidious, Clone Wars Darth Sidious from late last year. Balin's hood for his cloak is really good. The wires are really nice and strong, and you can really make that hood look really good on him, look very natural. And the Sidious one's really good too. You can make that look like the shape it exactly is in the Clone Wars animation. So I don't really know why they kind of missed the ball here with this one a little bit, in my opinion. It does not bad, but I feel like it just could have been a lot better. It's a bit odd. But I'm going to put the hood down real quick, take a look at the helmet sculpt, because I really like the look of this. The shiny red paint looks really good. You got the black visor and then the silver and then the weathering they applied to the helmet. Excuse me, helmet looks really good. And the other little details of the helmet on the back and whatnot, I think looks really great as well. One little nitpick I have, which is a personal preference thing, not really an issue with Hot Toys themselves. But I think the visor, in my opinion, is a little on the wide side. If I look at other references, like other like Hasbro figures, and I also have the Jazzwares replica helmet. Like I'll take a TVC figure here, if I can get it to focus. The visor is really thin on this mask, and in most iterations of the character, I'll say the visor looks pretty thin. I think it looks a lot cooler when it's really thin. This one they made a little wider for some reason. I still think it looks good. Like it's not bad, and it's a really, really, really minor thing, but it's just something I wanted to bring up. I would have preferred it to be a bit more narrow, but it's not a big deal. The rest of the clothing and cloak looks really good. The cloak itself is actually wired. It has 2 wires here and then 2 wires on the outer edge. So you get a decent amount of posing there. Nothing crazy, but you can make it look decently dynamic. But yeah, like I said, this wires aren't too strong, so you're not gonna be able to get like crazy posing out of that. But let me just zoom out here a little bit. I do like that the ends are nice and torn with some holes and whatnot, and they also gave it like a dirt effect at the edge of the cloak as well, which I think is cool. It's subtle where it doesn't look too bad, but it is a bit of a dirt effect, which I think is nice. The armor looks really good as well in this like bronze paint that I think is really nice. It was one of the selling points on the figure when you looked at the spot where it was on sideshow and whatnot. You got little nicks and dings on the armor for battle damage and whatnot, which I think looks really good. This is the forearms move really loosely, so after you're done posing, you might have to readjust them. They like to swivel in a lot, but they're supposed to be out like this. You can tell because those like little black lines. If it's like this, that's wrong. That's correct. Midsection looks good. You've got this big ring thing in this part of his robe or whatnot. I think it looks really cool. And the little metal rings that go around the waist there look nice. Then the lower robe looks pretty cool. It's like this ribbed design with the little red bit here. There's no wire in this. It's just free flowing, which is fine. The back, it is cut up a bit in the back, which helps with articulation a bit. And up his skirt, you do have the shin armor, which I think looks really, really good, even though you'll barely ever see it. But the boots and the shin armor looks great, although it does get a bit gappy around the ankle. You can get pull down the armor to hide most of that for the most part, but also you're not going to see it much because the robe just hangs down so low. It doesn't really matter. But for the most part, I think this figure looks really good. Like I said, there's a couple things here and there. The hood and the visor, I think, could have been a little different, but overall, it's not like that big of a deal. It's still an awesome looking figure for sure. In terms of your posability, you have articulation in the neck. You can look up really far, actually. Look down quite a bit. You can pivot really well and rotate. The arms go all the way out. You can bring them pretty far forward. There's a swivel at the bicep there. A double joint in the elbow, which is really nice. And then you have those universal Hot Toys joints that can rotate and then go up and down or in and out, whatever you want to do. There is a torso joint, but you're basically not getting much movement out of that because of all the armor and whatnot. You know, Hot Toys figures, I feel like you rarely get good articulation in the midsections anyways. Hips do move, but the robe does hinder, I would say, a decent amount of articulation. But you can kick them out, I don't know, about that far, which isn't too bad. There's a rotation there. You have a pretty good spread. You can obviously pull up the skirt a bit to get a bit more of a spread, but even without, it actually spreads pretty good. There is a double hinge at the knee that is soft ratcheted. And then you have the like double dumbbell ankle joint, which gives you up and down and pretty good pivot. So I think it's pretty good articulation. The obviously the torso is very hindered, and you do get a little bit of hindrance in the legs with the robe, but it's not too bad. Otherwise, he's wearing pretty baggy clothes, so you don't get too much resistance there, which is nice. But yeah, I can guess one thing I'll do real quick is get him to hold his accessories, his lightsabers. He holds them real easily and real nice. It's no problem. It's the red saber, and we'll put the purple one's a little more annoying to get in his hand just because the saber design's a little awkward. There we go. Holding his lightsabers there. Obviously, I'm not putting in a huge effort to make a good pose or anything, just showing you can hold the lightsabers. But I guess now I'll just do comparisons. I don't really have any other like 6 scale figures that make sense for a comparison because they haven't done any other Nice Steel Republic figures yet. Anyways, it'd be cool. Hopefully they do like a Nihilus and if they do a Nihilus and a Malik, and like I'm gonna be so poor. But I think I have every single official articulated Revan figure they've ever made. So here he is. Here's the Black Series figure, which they're pretty similar in design for the most part. This figure's pretty old now. It's just for fun. Obviously, these figures don't really hold the light to a Hot Toys figure for the most part. Here's the newer TVC figure from 2023, which is still this is still an incredible figure, honestly. And then here's the old, very first Revan figure they ever made. This is the 30th anniversary one, which obviously does not hold a candle. It doesn't have the right fucking mask design, but still cool. But yeah, you can kind of see how far we've come from this to this. One little cool thing you can do if you, I wish this figure maybe came with some sort of like force lightning effect or something. Obviously, he's a Sith Lord and he does that. One thing you can do if you happen to have the season 1 Mandalorian in the brown armor, so the very first episode Mandalorian, he comes with this lightning effect that is supposed to attach to the pulse rifle. Funnily enough, it actually slots onto the force hand really nicely and securely, and then you can actually get a good looking force lightning effect for Revan here if you want to do that. It works out pretty well. Just, you know, something you can do if you happen to have this accessory. But yeah, overall, I think this is a really good figure. Like I said, not without its faults, although I don't think any of its issues are deal breakers at all. They're relatively minor to very minor. So if you're a fan of Revan, I think this is a must-have. Obviously, if you can afford it, because Hot Toys are not cheap. But if you can afford to get this, I think this is, yeah, like I said, the Revan fan, this is a must-have. This thing's incredible, and it'll probably be the best Revan figure ever made, would be my guess. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. May the Force be with you.